Hi, I'm Kamali, taking you through some of the things people are talking about and some other stuff they're sharing around the world on Newsfeed today. Bloomberg takes his bow in the Dem debates. Did his real-life game match his online one? A terror attack in Germany, 9 people killed in a far-right manifesto published online. Playing the violin while a surgeon fixes your brain, the wonders of medical science, caught on camera. And a story from Sierra Leone on the power of the written word. And top of our newsfeed, Michael Bloomberg, the billionaire former mayor who would be president, made his debate debut last night. Called Mini Mike by President Donald Trump, did the media mogul make a big impact? Well, he certainly has in the digital space, as Adama reports.
He's in the top 10 of the richest men in the world. Media mogul Michael Bloomberg is sitting pretty at number 9, but still, he wants to take advantage of the free housing at the White House. He took on other US presidential candidates head-to-head for the first time at the latest Democratic debate. And the former New York mayor got a rough reception.
He has gotten some number of women, dozens, who knows, to sign non-disclosure agreements, both for sexual harassment and for gender discrimination in the workplace.
Mr. Bloomberg had policies in New York City of stop and frisk, which went after African-American and Latino people in an outrageous way.
We tried that. Other countries tried that. It was called communism, and it just didn't work.
Whoa.
But here is the point. Let's talk about democratic socialism, not communism, Mr. Bloomberg. That's a cheap shot.
He's risen as high as number 2 in the race in some polls, thanks to the hundreds of millions of dollars he's spent for adverts. We're talking 30,000 pro-Bloomberg online ads a minute over Google and Facebook alone. Since joining the race in November, Bloomberg has outspent all the other Democratic candidates combined by more than $10 million. And while some people online have found his ads impressive, like this one which compares Trump's speeches to previous presidents,
ask what you can do for your country.
Knock the crap out of them, would you?
Their cause.
it's proving to be social media overkill for others. On top of that, Bloomberg is bankrolling a social media army to push his popularity through texts and social media posts for $2,500 a month. Experts have described that move as unorthodox. A campaign spokeswoman said President Trump's re-election campaign includes staff dedicated to digital media, but it doesn't compensate people to post on their personal social media accounts. There's no denying US presidential elections are big business, but are the billionaire's bucks enough to buy himself the nomination? Personality, debate performance, policy, past scandals, these are the things that really count. Bloomberg might have hired some of the most popular accounts to make custom memes, but based on more than 1,000 comments, Bloomberg's Instagram ad campaign is already losing steam. It's now on voters to decide if, in the real world too, Bloomberg is in decline.
All right, let's take a look at some of the other things that caught our eye on social media. Hanau is a top trend after a mass shooting in a town in Germany. 9 people were killed in what the police say was a terror attack. The 43-year-old behind it published a manifesto online where he expresses hate for non-white people and describes himself as incel. That's involuntarily celibate. He says he's been that way for the last 18 years. After gunning down people in Shisha bars, he went home and shot his mother before killing himself. In Australia, people are expressing their sadness and anger online after this woman, Hannah Clark, and her 3 children were killed when her ex-husband set fire to their car. He also died, taking his own life moments later. Her name has been top trending on Australian Twitter as they show their outrage at some media outlets who they say have given prominence to the fact that the man involved was a former footballer who apparently loved his kids. Many say this fits a pattern in the media there when, in cases of family violence, media tends to focus on how much of a good guy the perpetrator was. A feminist magazine called Amplify summed it up, saying, "Good blokes don't ever, ever set their children on fire." News of the death of Larry Tesler, the Apple computer engineer who invented the keyboard shortcuts cut, copy and paste, is being shared. Mr. Tesla was 74 and seen as a pioneer of modern computing. And this is 10-year-old Atakan Kayala, a video of him talking about the huge number of books he has read, which has been watched more than 10 million times, has been shared all across the net. The post that accompanied the video says he talked for more than 2 hours about Aristotle, Rousseau and other philosophers. Apparently, little Atakan has read more than 250 books in just 5 months. Impressive. Well, to Syria now to hear from the father of that little girl you may have seen on your feeds in recent days. He taught his 3-year-old to laugh when she hears explosions as a way of distracting her from the war all around her. He explained how he came up with the idea.
في طيارة اللي هي قذيفي قذيفي
احنا قصيدة المضحك
طلعت كيف ضحك معه قذيفي كيف ضحك
من سنتين كنا بالعيد يعني في الاولاد عم يلعبوا بالالعاب الناريه. ولد شغل هيك من هدول الكبار يقولوا لي طوب. فجر البنت خافت يعني، ففورا انا شلتها وطلعت على البلكون قلت لها لا تخافي هدول الاولاد عم يلعبوا يعني بالعيد العاب ناريه وكذا وهيك. وشافت الاولاد، في ولد من الاولاد قلت له شغل وحده ثانيه يعني مشان تشوف في عينها، شافت هيك انه فجر صاروا يضحكوا وكذا، هي صارت تضحك، شافت الموضوع انه هو لعبه. بعد يومين يعني ضربت الطياره فورا قلت لك لا تخافي هدول الاولاد عم يفجروا شو اسمه الالعاب الناريه. هلا صرت استخدم معاه الاسلوب بشكل دائم، بس هذيك الايام كانت هي اصغر من هذا العمر. هلا كبرت صارت تفهم طياره وقذيفه وهيك بس. فنحن عم نحاول قدر الامكان نطالع برا هذا الجو الحار، حتى امرار بعد ما يصير قصف وطيران وهيك ويخلص نعرف يخلص قل رواحي حتى اشتري لك رواحي نروح الالعاب. يعني بدنا نحاول قدر الامكان، بالنتيجه يعني هذا طفلنا، يعني هذا هو المستقبل تبعنا، ما بدنا يكون مستقبلنا مهزوز، بده يكون مستقبلنا متماسك يعني نوعا ما.
To Kashmir, where the latest measure by the Indian government seeks to curtail already curtailed access to the internet. And now for a story from the UK, where video of the amazing work by a surgeon is being celebrated, not least by the person he was operating on.
find control of the left hand, for example, somebody who's playing a violin, length of the string, pressure on the string, all those fast movements, moving between one string to the other. So that was what was unusual for us.
How much does it mean to you that you can still play the violin?
Everything. This is my life, this is what I do in my spare time, and I enjoy it an awful lot.
It's incredible. All right, let's go around the world now for some other stories you need to know this Thursday. Police in Mexico say they have arrested 2 people in connection with the killing of 7-year-old Fatima. Her killing last week brought many in Mexico to the streets, demanding authorities do more to protect women and girls. Justice for Fatima trended online. There are 700 outstanding femicide cases currently in Mexico. The people arrested, a man and a woman, were picked up by cops not far from where Fatima went missing. 2 80-year-olds from Japan have died from the coronavirus. They were both passengers on the Diamond Princess cruise ship, which was docked and under quarantine in the port of Yokohama. The 84 and 87-year-old were taken off the ship on the 11th and 12th of February. Both of them had existing illnesses. 600 people on that ship have been infected with COVID-19.
I'm appealing as a mother of the nation. I'm appealing.
Well, this is the First Lady of Zambia, Esther Lungu, crying out for an end to a spate of gas attacks across the country. A number of people have been left unconscious after a gas unknown was sprayed at homes and schools in several places across Zambia. And finally, we will go to West Africa for a look at how some people are seeking to use the power of poetry to turn their lives around.
This is Exodus Lane, Gaza. As you can see, it's a very tight and narrow lane, but this is where I've done most of my gangster or my thug act, you know. I used to do my things here. The street is spread big and deep like the sea. You could not see it because you can't relate. Down there, we run in the streets like a taxi. It's a sharp bulldozing, the risky moves we take. When you fall and get caught, you put your life at stake.
We're working within the arts, the music, the media. So like we're using those platforms, see how best we can give opportunity and chance to the youth for them to use it to make change for themselves, because you can't change someone.
My future is clear in the poetry, and I don't want to keep this feeling to myself. I want to give back to colleagues, more especially the little youth. And that will do from the Newsfeed team. Do reach out to me with your questions, comments, complaints and suggestions. You'll find me at Kamali Melbourne. You'll find us 24/7 on YouTube. You can subscribe to that channel and you can follow me on Twitter. Follow, subscribe and add, and I will see you again tomorrow.